If you've just been made redundant, I know exactly what you want to do right now. You want to update your CV and you want to start applying for jobs. Please don't. Because for a senior role, applying the week you're let go is actually the fastest way to stay out of work for longer. If you do the opposite, it can take months off your search. There are 4 things I want you to do before you send a single job application. First, what not to do this week and why your instinct is wrong about it. Then how to take time off so it actually counts. Most people rest wrong and come back worse. Third, the rebuild almost everyone skips. It's the reason the most qualified person in the room still doesn't get the job. And last, the one thing I will let you publish this week. Just one. So number 1, don't rush. I know how that sounds. You've got a mortgage, you've got bills, and every part of you wants to act right now. But 2 things happen when you make decisions from that place of stress and anxiety. The first is that you don't have time to take in any of the learnings from the experience you just went through. And if you don't take in your learnings, you don't reflect, you don't update how you show up. You just repeat what you did before and you hope for a different result. The second is that there is a chance you could burn bridges. For example, I had a client whose role was made redundant and she started calling everyone that same day. And what she didn't realize was that she was breaching clauses of her exit package. You do things like that when you're in fight and flight mode because you're not thinking straight. And then there's the recruiter. And I see this very often because I'm a career coach. When a senior person walks into that room still angry, still grieving, it shows. I have seen people become quite emotional about their job loss in front of recruiters. And a recruiter only ever takes their very top candidates forward to meet with their client. And they're deciding whether you are one of them when they're meeting with you. So if you show up and you're not ready yet, the conversation ends there. They will be kind, they will be lovely, but they cannot move you forward. So instead of entering action mode, you need to stop. You need to give it some time. But don't think that this is just about resting or taking time away, because the people who take time off the wrong way come back more anxious than when they left. So let me show you how to rest so that you can come back at a better position. Okay, so number 2, time off. At least 3 weeks. That's the minimum. And I know most people say to me, I can't take 3 weeks. I need a job right now. And then they end up taking even longer anyway because their search is patchy. They get a burst of motivation, then they get one rejection, and that rejection sends them into a spiral because they were never rested enough to become resilient. Now, every senior role already carries years of stress. Add a redundancy or a layoff on top of that, and even if you saw it coming, even if you chose it, the exit is still traumatic. Your body has to come down from that. And let me demystify something because I think it will take the pressure off. There's this idea that a job search is a 12-week thing. No, it's not. For a senior role, it will probably be longer. Most executive searches run over 3 months. For a C-suite seat, that's 4 to 6 months. For a CEO, 4 to 9. It can be even longer for all of them. So this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And resting for 3 weeks does not put you behind. And sprinting out of the gate does not put you ahead. And when I say time off, I mean real time off, where you understand that you are not in danger. You are not going to die. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. There is light at the end of your tunnel. And when the anxious thoughts come, and they will, acknowledge them and then file them away. One caution though, don't overdo it either, because if you rest so long that the money runs out, the stress just comes back wearing a different face. I've had clients that take 6 months off and they are completely fine, but it was planned. They had the savings, they came back and they found a role in a few months. But 6 months off, when you then only get 1 month of money left, that's not rest, that's a countdown for disaster. So after those first 2 to 3 weeks, sit down and really be honest with yourself. How long can I actually go without a salary? And if I need longer than that, how can I ask for help? Build that plan before the panic builds it for you. And there is a reason why I call all of this the work and not a break from work. It's because it creates the space for you to regain control of your daily life and your body. Sleep well again, dream again, eating well, moving your body. That is not you being idle while the job hunt waits. That is you being ready for your job hunt. Because your CV, your LinkedIn profile, your rehearsed answers, that's just the baseline. Everyone will do that. What actually gets you the role is how you show up emotionally, logically in the room. And stress is not just in your head. When I run a first session with a new client, I can see the anxiety in their eyes. In person, it's even louder. Stress is physical. It shows in your face. It shows in your body language. Researchers can even now measure stress hormone, cortisol, in your sweat. It comes through your skin and it is contagious. When you are around somebody running that hot, your own body picks it up. So if you go in straight off the back of all of that stress, you are not ready. You haven't worked out what you actually want next, and your pitch isn't there yet. But there is one more thing that has to come back before you're ready, and it's not your CV. Quick thing before I move on, if this is helping you, make sure that you subscribe. That way you don't have to go through the next stage of your job search on your own. So number 3, and this is the one people miss. Your work now is to rebuild the leader, not the CV. Because losing the title can quietly take something with it. Before I became a coach, I once brought a friend into a meeting with an executive search partner. She had just lost her job and I wanted to help her. But what I didn't know is that she wasn't ready for that conversation. She was very senior, C-level, and she stumbled, she waffled. The layoff had just happened to her. She was still angry and confused. She had no coaching and it showed. And I had seen this woman at her peak, so it was a shock to me too. But it taught me something that I say to all my clients now. There is positional leadership and then there is leadership as a strength, the kind that is wired into your DNA. And you can hold a big title for years without ever building that second one. So when the title goes, what's left is one very real question. Can you still walk into a room and be a leader with nothing but yourself? So you work that muscle, you get yourself ready to walk in as someone ready for the next role, not as someone who's still upset about losing the last one. So here's number 4, and this is the only thing I want you to actually publish this week. It's not your CV, it's not a single job application, it's your LinkedIn farewell post. And ideally, you don't write it on your own. You write it with a coach or at least a very good mentor. You need 2 pair of eyes because the risk of writing it alone is that anger or hurt leaks through. And believe me, it will show. When I write these with my clients, We take all of that out, every bit of tension, and we put back the good things, the real ones, the people you worked with, the work you were proud of, the gratitude, and do it early, the day you leave or even before, because you want everybody that you've worked with to see it while they still remember you at your best. Your colleagues, your clients, suppliers. And if you're still inside, they've still got your work email so they can reach you. That is the moment you ask. You ask people to be your referees. You ask them to stay in touch. You tell them that you're taking a break, but you would love to have a coffee in 2-3 weeks. And then later, much later, once you land your role, you should also write another very strategic LinkedIn post. This one announcing your new role. But before it goes live, you tell your champions first. You contact your referees, your mentors, and the recruiters who helped you during your search, because they should hear it from you, not from LinkedIn. That post should go out in your first 2 weeks of your new job, or even earlier if there is a public announcement planned by the organization hiring you. And if you're watching this still raw, still angry, still not sure you can do any of it, I want you to hear how this ends, because I lived it myself. When my role was made redundant, it was the end of October and I did not have it together. That day was terrible, and the days after even worse. I was depressed. I had a car accident that same week. I was also moving house and dealing with a new mortgage, all of that at once. It was after the car accident, when I was recovering from the whiplash in bed, that I decided to stop feeling sorry for myself and take a proper break before deciding what I wanted to do next. Now, I was lucky because I got a package when I left and it gave me time. And I know that that's a privilege a lot of people don't have. But all it took was a few weeks for me to unwind. And a month or so later, after losing my job, something happened that I did not expect. A serious conversation came up about a CEO role, a big one. And on paper, it was perfect. It was the fastest way to show everyone, look at me, I'm back and I still got it. And then something really odd happened. My mind was really clear. I felt rested. I wasn't stressed anymore. I wasn't worried about what people were thinking about my job loss. I had this gut feeling, and it was really clear I didn't want that job. What I wanted was to build something of my own. My role ended in October and I started my new business on the 19th of January. And the podcast, the job hunting podcast, a lot of you have listened to, that didn't launch until October, a full year later. And that's how long these things really take. So here's what I want you to hear. Coaching at this level, at your level, is about getting you ready for a competition or for whatever is next to you, because that's what senior search is. Somebody is going to get hired, and I want that somebody to be you, and I need you ready. So if you come to me still in too much pain to compete, the first homework that I will give you is to take a 3-week break before we begin working together. And sometimes what we need during that challenging phase post-layoff is not just a coach. Sometimes it's a different kind of support, and there is no shame in that at all. Look, if you're ready for coaching and you don't want to do your job search on your own, book a call with me. The link is right below. It's not for everyone, but if you've stayed with me this whole way, I think you already know if it's for you. So what next? Give yourself permission to feel human, to be angry, to grieve the job you lost, to say your piece. Just remember, not in front of headhunters. Save that for the people who love you and for a coach who can guide you through it. And if you genuinely cannot take 3 weeks, if you have to move now, then we move now. And I will be right there with you. I will be honest with you that you won't possibly be at your strongest. And my whole job is to keep you as close to it as I possibly can. So if this is where you are right now, freshly out of a job, and you're deciding whether to sprint or to breathe, start with the hardest one. Stop, give yourself the time, and be kind to yourself. Your next chapter is going to be much better for it. Bye for now, and I'll see you in the next video.